Hello everyone, I'm Jenny Floriday. I'm here on behalf of SMACNA of Greater Chicago, and this is our Lunch and Learn. The topic for the day is Bluebeam, and the subject for today's session is estimation and takeoff. So before we get started, I want to point out that I'm using Bluebeam 2018 today. The interface is quite different than the Bluebeam 2017 interface. In getting started, I'm going to show you an altered view of our drawing. I have some measurements done of a few of these offices, and using the estimation and takeoff feature, we will be able to measure out what the flooring will cost for a given office. Okay, before I show you how to perform estimation and takeoffs, let me just show you how they work out in the end. So we have an office area, and I've gone in prior to today's session, measured it out, named the subject line flooring, and I can go into the material column and I can pick out what kind of flooring I want to use in there. So I'm going to say that I want to use carpeting, and so it instantly gives me the square foot cost and then the flooring subtotal. And I've done this by creating a column called material and a column called flooring subtotal. And so that's what I'm going to show you how to do next. For our example, we're going to open up a different document, and I'm going to open up the markups list. So in 2018, this is how you open up your markup panel. You come to the side and you click on this. And to add new columns in 2018, you go to the markup list logo, you go to columns, and you go into manage columns. In the manage columns dialog box, I'm going right over to custom columns, and now I'm going to create my custom columns. I'll click on add. I have to give my columns a name. So the first one is going to be material. I have to pick out the type of column. This is going to be a choice column. What that means is I'll be able to put in different types of material and the user will just pick those out. So I'm going to add in my types, and the first type is going to be hardwood. This is very important. The subject must match to the subject in the markups list for that area measurement. So that's going to be called flooring. And I'm going to assign a numeric value. I'm going to say that it's $10.20 a square foot, and I'll say that's okay. Then I'm going to add another, and this time we're going to use tile. Once again, it must say flooring here, and I will assign that a numeric value, and I'm going to say that that is $5.40. If I wanted this to be the automatic flooring, I could check default, and then I wouldn't have to apply it to each line item. But I don't in this instance, so I will click OK. So now I have created my choices. I will go in and click OK. Now I'm going to do another column which will multiply the material times the measurement of the room. So I will click on Add, and I will call this flooring subtotal, and I'm going to change it from text to a formula. And so as I start typing material, it finds it in the list of columns that have been created, and I double click on that to populate it. Then I use the asterisk just as if I was in Excel, and I'm multiplying the material times the measurement. So I'm going to say MEA, and there we go. I'll double click that. I want the format of this to be currency. We'll have 2 decimal places, and I do want to include it in totals. So I will say OK. And then I will say OK again. You notice I now have 2 new columns, material and flooring. Okay, so if I want to go in and measure something, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to use my tools, measure, and I'm going to use the dynamic fill. By the way, we have another video on working with dynamic fill. We'll click on that, and I'm going to measure out Office 1, 2, and 3. I'll hit escape to cancel my measuring. I now have painted out my 3 offices that I want to measure. This is the icon that we want to use because that's the square foot area measurement. I will click on apply. And now you can see that we have measurements for those 3 offices. If I turn on my markups list, I can see those. What I want to do now is select all of these area measurements. Click on one, shift click on the other. I'll open my properties box. And we are going to name those flooring. Good. Without this particular step, I won't be able to access the combo boxes that I've created. Okay, so I'm going to close out my property box and let's go test it. So if I go over here to material and I double click, there it is. There's my hardwood. I'll go to the next one, double click, make that tile, make that hardwood. So that's a very helpful technique that Bluebeam offers you. And you can also use it if you wanted to search out how many diffusers, for instance, that you had in either a floor, a building, or several drawings, and it can tally what those individual diffusers cost. So that's how you go in and do estimation and takeoff. I hope that the explanation was clear enough that you'll be able to use it. Thanks so much for joining me. Good luck.